All right. So we'll keep those people in our thoughts and our
Yeah.
prayers, and glad we are warm and safe. All
Mhm.
right. Well, let's get started. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm Bernard Smalls, and I'm a corporate trainer by profession, but also an author. And I write books mostly on positive thinking, right mental attitudes, and I'm a real big believer in positive spirituality. When I talk about positive spirituality, I'm not talking about religion. I'm just talking about being a positive person. And I believe we need more of that in this world, more love, more kindness, more positivity. And one book we put together is called, if you can see it, Law of Attraction Basics. And by the way, if you didn't get a copy, I'm going to show you how to get one before it's over, the ebook. And it talks about the law of attraction. And most of you, since you're here, you probably have a basic interest or understanding in the law of attraction. Let's start it out by having a little fun. I want to give this book to someone. I'm going to send you all the e-version, but this is a hard copy. Can you see that?
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to the chat and put your most basic definition of law of attraction. Meaning, what does law of attraction mean to you? What is law of attraction, basically? And I just want you to put that in the chat and put your email address. And I know this is a subjective way of handling it, but I'll be the judge of who gave the best answer. And then I'll send you this book free of charge, okay? So if you want a chance to win a hard copy of the Law of Attraction book, go ahead and do that. Does that make sense?
Sure does.
All right. Well, let's move into it. So we'll have people joining us as we go, I'm sure. We're talking about the law of attraction and the basics of the law of attraction. First of all, the law of attraction is not a new law. It's not a fad. It's not something that just came out with the movie The Secret. I believe the law of attraction is a divine gift for all of us to attract the things into our lives that we want. And I found you can attract anything from finances to romances, anything you need, the right person, the right job, the right situation. And it's through the law of attraction. Now, a lot of people say that sounds like hocus pocus. No, it's not. It's actually scientific. The basics of the law of attraction are, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And as Earl Nightingale said years ago, what you think about, you bring about. Another great man said, you're always moving, Disraeli, in the direction of your most predominant thought. So what are we saying? What you're thinking is really affecting your life. And I believe it controls your life. So that's the basics of the law of attraction. How many of you have studied the law of attraction somewhat or read some books on it or anything? Anybody?
I have.
Yes.
You have? Yes,
I
what
have
have you
not.
read, sir?
So for me, I have read The Secret, but not in the whole book, but in parts. And
Okay.
there are some parts I obviously agree with totally. But being a physicist, I'm skeptical about some of the parts. So that's why I'm here, just to learn a little bit more and
Okay.
to see whether it holds credence or not.
Yeah. Being a physicist, you have some real insight into the scientific side.
Correct.
Okay. Anybody else who has read or studied some about the law of attraction?
Yeah, I practiced that like 7-8 years before, but now I find it very difficult to achieve my goals and try to manifest my goals and try to get it done. So I used to consciously do that
Yes.
7-8 years back, but now it's
Yeah.
become very hard, like over a period of time.
Yeah. It is a spiritual and a mental practice that if you don't keep going with it, you will find yourself maybe bogged down into not going for your goals, not manifesting your goals.
Right.
And I know I have been there before. So hopefully tonight will help, get some of us off of high center, and so that we can live the life that we were created to live. Now, I'm sharing a little bit from my PDF because I had a helper putting together the PowerPoint, but she didn't get through in time. So the backup is my PDF. Proverbs 23:7 says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Now, that's an old proverb directly from the Bible. So a lot of people, again, think the law of attraction started with The Secret. They think the law of attraction started with positive thinking teachers and so on. But this was written by a man named Solomon, who was known as one of the wisest men ever. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Now, that also applies to women. And by the way, here's the PDF that I'm sending you. It's loaded with good and practical information. So let's go over a few key things tonight. And I like to make this interactive. If you have a thought, raise your hand and let's just talk about it. First of all, the law of attraction is simple. Like a magnet, our thoughts attract things into our lives. You become what you think about, basically. Now, one guy said, well, if that was true, by the time I was 18, I would have been a girl. Why? Because he's saying all he was thinking about was girls. Well, of course, this is not literally, you're not going to become a monkey if you think of monkeys. You're not going to become an astronaut just because you had a thought. Whatever you do, your thoughts get you started moving towards the thing, and the thoughts also attract, because thought is energy and thought is creative energy. And one thing about energy, many scientists say energy is never destroyed. So either you're going to have positive energy or negative energy, positive thoughts, negative thoughts, but thoughts are things. And that question is clearly answered in the book. So since a thought is a thing, that means you can manifest your desires. Now, there's a lot of talking about manifesting. And to manifest your desires, you simply internalize your thoughts. How many of you use a vision board? Anybody?
Yes.
Okay, good. Excellent. All right. Now, a lot of people don't believe in this stuff, but I'll tell you, this stuff works. Recently, I had a manifestation in my life that I paid off hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt. And I worked on it. I focused on it. I meditated. I affirmed it, and I saw it done. And it happened. Did it happen overnight? No, it didn't happen overnight, but it happened over time. It was about 18 months from the time I decided to wipe out this debt that it manifested, okay? And a lot of people said, well, that was going to happen anyway. No, I don't believe it was. I believe it was a manifestation of a desire. You don't have to be some super spiritual giant to manifest. You just have to be one that can focus your thoughts, concentrate on something. And it's almost like a supernatural energy kicks in to help you when you focus your thoughts. What you focus on, you become. Anybody had a manifestation or anything happened good in your life that you know was supernatural in the last, say, 3 or 4 years? Anybody? Yes, ma'am. All right. Some of you say, well, we don't know about this stuff. You're talking about supernatural stuff. Well, one of the ways you do it is when you start to think thoughts in your time of meditation, you start to draw things to you. Now, let's think about you being like a magnet. What does a magnet do? Somebody tell me in your own words.
It pulls things to it.
It draws things to it, right? A magnet. As kids, we all like to play with magnets. And once in a while, we would get a hammer or a hatchet or something and break a magnet in half. And once you break it in half, have you ever tried to put the two pieces back together? No, because the energy won't allow you to put the magnet back together, but a magnet draws things. The law of attraction is simple. You are like a magnet. But the way you attract things, the rallying cry is what you think about, you bring about. Just like right now, you're sitting here thinking while you're listening to me, you are attracting things while you're thinking. And the law of attraction works all the time. Now, but a lot of people, I think, have commercialized this and made it just something that you can sell books, make money on. In fact, I'm not selling you anything. I'm just here to try to make the world a better place. I'm not promoting myself. I just believe that this knowledge is so important that if we get it, and especially in our country and in other countries of the world, we can turn things around. So here's some deeper truths other than just think a thought and you'll see a manifestation. Number one is this: we are the co-creators of our world. I believe that we are here to co-create our world. Well, what is a co-creator? What does a co-creator do? Does anybody know?
Maybe they like help guide what we're already supposed to do. 'Cause we
Exactly.
believe in it.
Yes, it's like a co-pilot. If you're flying, you have a pilot, that's the main guy, then you have the co-person. Well, whether you believe in God or not, the creator of the universe, I believe he is the creator and we are co-creators. But a lot of it depends on what we do. So number two, we all work with one infinite power called the great I am. Now, the words I am are powerful. Now, here's why. Whatever you say after I am, you create in your life. If you say, I am sick, you're going to start attracting what?
Sickness.
Yep. What about if you say, I am broke? Some people say,
No.
I'm just so broke. I am just so broke. I just can't afford it. Prices are so high. What are you attracting? You're attracting poverty. If you say, I am a failure, you're attracting the words I am is an interesting insight. And in the Old Testament scriptures, God's name is I am. And the interesting thing is the words I am are the two most powerful words you can speak, because whatever you speak after I am, you're attracting into your life. So I encourage you to start making positive I am affirmations. And if you want some, I have many of them. I have one book I created, I am, that deals with creating wealth, but it also deals with just creating anything you desire. Number three, we, like everything, we are energy. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. Okay, I have an iPhone here. You know what this iPhone is? Energy. I have a book here. This is energy. An iPad. I'm not advertising for Apple, by the way. I just happen to like their products. Energy. This cup of coffee. Why? If you were to take a powerful enough microscope and put this phone under it, you wouldn't see the phone, you would see energy. Now, thought is energy. And the interesting thing is, scientists say thought is some of the finest form of energy that you can ever discover. Think of the fact that you can think a thought and then you can speak a word. You can release creative power. So number four, we are empowered to write our own script by thoughts and words. And then number five, we must see the end result in our mind's eye. Now, why is it important to see the end result before it's manifested if you want to manifest something? Anybody, in your own words, why is it important to see the end result?
See, because unless
Because maybe
you
you're able to
see,
imagine
sorry, go ahead.
that. Oh, sorry.
No,
That
go ahead,
you're
please.
able to like formulate it in your mind of what it would look like.
Exactly. You formulate it in your mind. So now you're thinking a thought. Like, how many of you have a dream car that you desire? What is the car you would like to have more than any other car? Anybody have a dream car? Okay, Mary,
A Mercedes.
Melissa, go ahead. Go ahead.
1972 Mercedes.
A 1972?
Yes.
Interesting.
Mercedes.
Why 72?
My dad had a 1972 450 SL Mercedes silver with blue and red pinstripe with blue leather interior, and I loved that car.
Wow.
So that's what I would have.
All right. So now we have a project. We can go to work on that and life becomes fun. Now you start meditating, visualizing, affirming, seeing, and attracting it. And you'll see that car manifest in your life. Dr. Wayne Dyer was one of my favorite teachers, and he said, when you believe it, you will see it. When you believe it, you will see it. Most people want to see it, then they believe it. But that's just the opposite. So I like that. By the way, I like Mercedes too. Good choice. Anybody else have a dream car in mind?
If I can just say something, sir, I have a question here. So
Yes, go right ahead.
there are some spiritual people who would interject and say that trying to visualize and dream about something that is not spiritual, for example, a car or a house, is all, I think, material. It's not spiritual. And because of that, we are not supposed to do that. So I've read conflicting opinions on this topic. Even myself, I've toyed with whether to dream of prosperity, to dream of, having all the comforts in life. Are we doing something wrong? Because if we are really spiritually inclined, we aren't supposed to do that, right? We're supposed to think of higher values like, helping others and thinking about the good of others. So there are some people who would feel guilty about visualizing just material comforts. You see what I mean? So I've wrestled with this idea myself. So I know at some level it's not wrong to do that, but what is your take on it?
Yes, very good point. All right. Many people feel like for them to have something, someone else has to go without. And that is not true because we live in a universe of abundance. Like if one person is believing, say Melissa, believing for her car, that car is somewhere in this universe now. And as long as she doesn't steal it, hurt someone else, or do something deceptive to get it, there's nothing wrong with it.
Correct.
But
correct.
many, sir, you're right. In religion, we teach, Sanjay, that we should accept a vow of poverty. We're not supposed to have anything. But if you study the master teacher, the Bible calls him Jesus, he said, whatever you desire, when you pray, believe you have it and you will. So why would he teach that if he didn't want you to have desire? He said, ask, it shall be given. Seek, knock, it shall be open. But many people say, oh, that just means spiritual. No, he said what things? He said, even if you speak to a mountain and tell it to move, and you don't doubt, that mountain will move. So on the other hand, the balance is this. I don't believe we should be materialistic, all about things, all about just what I want to get what I can. I want to can what I get, and then put a lid on top of the can. One guy said, us four and no more. No, that's called selfishness. But if I'm believing for prosperity to give money to help poor people, isn't that a good thing? So there is a balance, and we must all come to grips with this. Some people struggle with it. I did for a while, but I got to the place now I can enjoy life without depriving others. And one of the keys is remain liberal, be generous, and keep giving. You get, you give. You have the philosophy, it's more blessed to give than to receive. Does that make sense?
It does, definitely. I'm convinced, but still at some level, I feel that because we are still seeking fulfillment in material things. So ultimately, maybe once we reach a higher level, our goal should be to just transcend and then go beyond the material. But maybe it's hard, I don't know, because like I said, I wrestle with this every single day, Should I aim for a bigger house or a brighter career, or just aim for being happy all the time and, being of service to people? And
No,
main
very
conflict.
good point. Now, here's a part of aiming for the bigger, say if it was a house.
Mhm.
In the process, Sanjeev, you're developing spiritually
Mhm.
because it takes spiritual capacity to manifest. And that's why I think a lot of people miss. They say, well, I don't want anything. I just want to be poor. I want to be spiritual. But spiritual people have power. So as long as you don't use that power to hurt someone else,
Mhm.
like believing for the debt freedom over the 18 months caused me to grow spiritually. Why? Meditation,
Mhm.
focus, dealing with the negativity. And then when it happened, I was thankful. So prosperity is good. It's a good thing, but it must not be greed, lust, avarice, taking advantage of other people. So there's a tricky thing there. People say money is the root of all evil. No, the Bible said the love of money is not money. Money's not evil.
Mhm. Right. I get it. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just material. You can use it to pay somebody's student loan or buy groceries, or you can use it to buy drugs. So again, it's up to us, what's in us. And we'll talk about that some more, because I have really come to some insight on that I believe caused me to have a peace. I have my vision board and I have things on it I desire, but I'm never about just the things. All right. Very good comment and question. I'm glad you joined us. Anybody else?
No, but I hear a lot of background noise. Is there a way to stop that?
That's who, in someone's environment, there's something happening. So putting it on mute would be the key.
Yes, it is. It would-
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Yeah, it's pretty quiet where I am. Okay. Almost done here. The law of attraction, the unspoken truth. Now, here's some more truths that we need to understand. And if you get the book, it'll definitely bring you in a deeper understanding, and it'll help you to get beyond just the materialistic view. I think the way The Secret was promoted, it was promoted more for commercial sales. But if you really study the law of attraction, you find that it's a very spiritual law. Now, let's talk about activating the law of attraction, and then we'll have a little time of Q&A. Activating the law of attraction. How do you activate this law? First of all, what is a law? Somebody in your own words, tell me, what is a law? How do you describe
Something
a law? Excuse me?
something that is created to maybe keep peace or calmness
Yeah,
or stability, maybe.
exactly. Very good. And does a law work all the time?
No. Hence, there is a law on the book that says, do not put your donkey in a bathtub on Sunday.
Don't put your donkey in a bathtub on what, Sunday?
On Sunday, yes, that's against the law in one of the states. I'm a school teacher, and me and my kids, that's like one of the crazy laws we found.
That's an interesting thing. Okay. Yeah, I've spent some time in Alabama, and they have some interesting laws on the book there too, that are old crazy laws that are still on the book. But okay, that's a natural law. But when it comes to a spiritual law, here's the thing about spiritual law, even though you can't measure it, they are always accurate. Like some people talk about the law of sowing and reaping. Whatever you sow, you will reap. But it may not come right away, but eventually it will. Indians call it the law of karma, karmic action. What goes around comes around. Okay. In the laws, let's think of the law of gravity. Okay, can everybody see that bottle of water? Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
what'll
yes.
happen if I throw that bottle up?
It's gonna fall down.
Okay, will it fall down every time?
Yes.
Or will it eventually just float away? No, that's because gravity is a law. In the spirit realm, there are laws, but we don't all understand them, and we don't fully understand